Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa, Radha Krishna, Krsna, Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa, Siddhaswarupananda, Radha Krishna, Krsna, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana, 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 Bhakti Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasudeva Gopala Vrinda. Bhakti Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Govindas, Gopala Govinda Rama, Krishna, Madana Mohana, Krishna, Gopala Govinda Rama, Krishna, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Krishna, Madana Mohana, Krishna, Gopala Govinda Rama, Krishna, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Guranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Guranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Guranga, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa. Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namideri, Gora Karuna Sarvaya, Radha Krishna Prasayate. Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namideri, Gora Karuna Sarvaya, Radha Krishna Prasayate.
Sorry, Paul Namaste. So, since Monday, we have been discussing about the divine nature. And now we will describe the demoniac natures. So, ang reason kaya ko dinidiscuss to, kasi we are all responsible for our actions and our choices. Responsible tayo. So, through conditioning, lahat kayo, halimbawa kayo, yung nandito kayo, sa conditioning nyo, when you were in your place, because everybody is doing the same thing, going to school, trying to focus upon the goals that will be achieved when one finishes his studies. Yeah? Yun ang naging condition yun, di ba? Pasok kayo sa school, tapos inisip nyo, pagtagal, maging ganito ako. So lahat tayo may ganun. Okay? That even though those who are professionals, they go to a place to practice their skills. They teach for a goal. Okay? Whatever that goal is, it's up to the person, okay? So what we're doing when we are engaging in activities, we want to reach something, a place, or achieve something. So, if, for example, you have a train, may train kayo ba? Before the train can move, kailan i-lay down nyo yung tracks nyo, di ba? Alam yung tracks? Relays. Nakakita na kayo ng train? Govinda Dasi? Ha? Hindi pa kayo nakakita ng train, no? Okay? Masin yung mga nasa documentary na palabas, nakikita nyo yung mga bullet train, ya? Still, mayroon silang tinatakbuhan, di ba? Hindi naman sila gagawa ng train. Mas LRT na lang. Yun sa Manila, na? O kaya yung PNR, Philippine National Railroad. Okay? Yung railroad na yon magsimula sa Manila up to Bicol. May train. Yung train, yun yung tatakbo sa trail. Klaro, Chaitanya Das? Alam mo yung train. Train. Alam mo yan. Okay? Hindi yung train na ginagawa nila dito na ano. Train ba? Train. Tapos, relays. Alam mo ano ibig sabihin ng relays? Yung tracks ba? Kung saan tatakbo yung gulong ng train. Okay? So, kung may train, ibig sabihin nun, magta-travel yung train. Pero kailangan mong mag-lay down ng tracks para tumakbo yung train. So, kung saan siya tatakbo. Kasi kung walang tracks, hindi makakatakbo yung train. Hindi makaka-move. Wala siyang direksyon. So, ang point ko rito, kaya ko sinasabi yon, kasi with the wisdom you have learned and understood, now, the goal is to go back home to Lord Krishna. Vaikuntha, a world that is transcendental from this miserable world. To go back home. Okay? So you have to lay down your tracks, yung tracks ba? Yung rail. So you can move forward. Okay? That's why we're discussing the demoniac nature and the divine nature. So those who are divine, meaning the consciousness, that when one is liberated and transcendental, not touched by the false ego anymore, real ego, that is eternally the loving servant of God, qualities manifest. So ibig sabihin nun, what resonates from him, yung sound, his action, at yung internal niya, dinescribe ni Lord Krishna, yung divine nature. So makikita nyo, ito pala yung consciousness ng someone who is godly. Okay? Since the living entity, lahat tayo, in a true sense, you're all godly. But the question is, how come we're not really experiencing this godly consciousness? Okay? Kasi baka wala yung relays papunta ron o kaya yung tracks. Imbis na dumiretso tayo sa dadaanan ng relays ng train, walang saan-saan ka lang napupunta. Okay? So it's akin to when you don't know who you are and you're not able to hold your horses, not to rein the horses. Okay? Wala kang papapupuntahan kasi hindi mo hawak yung renda ng kabayo. Na? Saan-saan sila tumatakbo. So in the beginning, prior to coming here, or coming in contact sa wisdom na to, you have been conditioned na yung buhay ay pinanganak ka, pumasok ka sa eskwela, mag-aral, magtrabaho, then after a while, iwan mo lahat. Di ba? Pero habang ginagawa mo yun, you experience so many experience while you are moving from one body to another. From childhood body, young girl's body, young lady's body, old woman's body, and then you live. You experience so many activities and resultant ng experience. Okay? So ngayon ang tanong, yung ticket mo, kasi you have one-way ticket eh. Hindi one-way ticket na kinakanta nyo ah. One-way ticket, yung katawan nyo, yung human form, one-way ticket to, so ang question, saan papunta? Yung ticket na yon, yung ticket mo, saan mo saan ka sasakay? Train na walang tracks, walang rail, o train na may rail, papunta sa destination. So, you should be very intelligent. Okay? So, it's not para bang I ask you a question. It's you who will check. Tignan mo yung sarili mo, saan ka papunta. Okay? So, this is the experience of someone who has this divine consciousness. Okay? I'll recap it again kasi we've been discussing this for a week. Almost a week. The blessed Lord said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity and simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, compassion, and freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, and steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, freedom from envy, and passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharat, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature. Godly men endowed with divine nature. So, you are all divine, spirit, soul, transcendental to this material world. So now you can check. Am I in this state? And is this state achievable? Okay? It is. Because we are under the guidance of Lord Krishna and the spiritual master who will lead us in the right direction and giving us this wisdom. So we have this rail track. So we have to prepare ourselves in this travel. Okay? And the travel leads to going back home. Okay? Not going back home to Tampilisan or Zamboanga City. Okay? Kasi lockdown. Okay? So now, I'll read to you now yung demoniac consciousness. Kasi may ticket ka alam mo, nasasakay ka sa train. Okay? Maraming train. Maraming train alam mo. Pag yung train, may mga sanga-sangalin yun, saan pupunta. Okay? Pero yung train na sasakyan natin is guided by the Supreme Lord. So yun yung makikita natin sa process na ginagawa natin na chanting, remembering, praying, the science of devotional service, wherein our consciousness will become purified and our heart will be purified also, and then we can understand our divine nature. Life, joyful by nature, loving by nature, gentle by nature, kind by nature. Okay? So ito, babasahin ko naman yung demoniac consciousness. Okay? O son of Pertha, in this world there are two kinds of created beings. One is called divine and the other demoniac. I have already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me the demoniac qualities. Hindi ba nyo napapansin? Pag we have plays, alam yung play? Drama. Madali lang mag-act pag kontrabida, di ba? Di ba? Madali lang mag-act kwanggul, di ba? Di ba? Pag mga drama-drama. Pero mahirap mag-act ng saintly person. Kasi it's an internal activity and a consciousness that is connected with the divine nature. Kaya very important na what we follow and what we hear must come from the guidance of Parampara because it's divine, godly. Not from someone who is under the three modes of material nature. Kasi it will be contaminated by the three modes. Material consideration. And even the one who we follow. Kasi nasa iba yung papupuntahan niya eh. Iba yung takbo ng utak niya ba? Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. So ito, yung demoniac consciousness. They don't know what's to be done. Okay? They say that this world is unreal, that there is no foundation, and there is no God in control. It is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. Following such conclusion, the demoniac who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence, engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. You can also say that not just this world, because you have this body. It's a world you're in. This body, your kingdom. Okay? If you have this demoniac consciousness, it's gonna destroy your kingdom, your body, and not be able to use this body, this ticket, to go back home. Okay? The demoniac taking shelter of insatiable lust, pride, and false prestige, being thus illusion, are always sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent. So how much we are able to grasp with spiritual understanding our true transcendental nature, and how we engage in the purificatory process, how much we are becoming free from this material contamination, will determine how we are getting closer in achieving what should be achieved. So definitely, false ego and false bodily identification is based upon demoniac consciousness. Okay? Why? Because you identify with the body. Then what will you do? You try to manipulate material nature and try to find happiness through your senses, following the desire in the mind. What will happen? You will experience in your heart an unfulfilled craving, because your life will be directed upon a world that is completely different from your transcendental nature. Life trying to find happiness in matter. Is it clear? Klaro sa inyo? Klaro, Chaitanya Das? Okay? Klaro? Okay. Tignan ko essay mo mamaya, ha? Okay, you'll stand here, you'll answer, okay? Kung ano yung intindihan mo, okay? Kaya makinig ka maigi. They believe that to gratify the senses unto the end of life is the prime necessity of human civilization. There is no end to their anxiety. Yung consciousness, eat and be merry today, tomorrow you die. Okay? At ang consciousness, minsan may estudyante rito, sinabihan ng teacher, kung sino yung nakapulot ng cellphone, sana may konsensya naman isa uli. Alam sabi ng estudyante, ma'am, sa panahon ngayon, wala nang konsensya. You see the influence of demoniac nature, materialism? Being bound by hundreds and thousands of desire, by lust and anger, they secure money by illegal means of sense gratification. Okay, mga drug lord, yung mga magnanakaw, yung mga criminals, okay? They don't want to endeavor hard work to earn money. Okay, they rob banks, they sell drugs, they steal, they murder just to get material things. They rob people, okay? The demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my scheme. So much is mine now, and it will be increased in the future. More and more, he is my enemy, and I have killed him, and my other enemy will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifice. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. That doesn't mean na akala natin na hindi tayo mayaman kagaya ng tao na to na he's so wealthy, pwede kasi yung consciousness natin, milyonaryong mini. Alam yung milyonaryong mini? You own something, and you think you will renounce. You don't own anything. Nobody owns anything. You have nothing to renounce. So the question ang gagawin lang natin, how we can be in harmony with our true transcendental nature, this divine nature. And we can see how we are encumbered by material desires. Yung material desires, innumerable. Because yung conditioning natin dito, sa beginning pa lang, pagpalabas mo, pagpasok mo sa eskwela, sulat mo agad yung sa resume. I am such and such. I'm 3 years old, I'm a Filipino, brown eyes, yellow hair. Okay? Okay? Gender, male or female. Yun, identification with sa body, all the labels. But since you're not the labels, you're gonna leave everything behind. You are the divine, transcendental person in that body. Okay? So, yung consciousness natin, yung dinadaanan natin to achieve the goal, we must lay down the tracks. We must become purified from this material consciousness, this material disease, so we can have clarity where we are going. Okay? Kasi kung ang goal natin is just material enjoyment, this world is a place of suffering. Until and unless you know that this place is a place of suffering, that your body, you'll experience death, old age, and disease. You experience hunger, thirst. Di ba? You work very hard. Ano na-experience nyo sa under the sun? Init, pagtagal, pagod, ang katawan. Di ba? You experience that in the body. Okay? And then anong ginawa nyo ron? Hindi naman para mas madali, Chaitanya Das, para mas madali. Nung binigyan kayo ng buto pang tanim ng pechay, tinanim ba nyo agad? Ano unang ginawa nyo? Binungkal nyo yung lupa, di ba? Tinanggal nyo lahat yung weeds. Pinalagyan nyo ng pataba. At saka kayo nagtanim. Ha? Kasi hindi pwede, tapon lang nyo yun. So, ibig sabihin, you must be very discerning na lahat ng ginagawa mo, alam mo, hindi pwedeng, di ko kahibalo, sorry. Hindi pwedeng ganon. Kasi yung ticket mo may time. Na yun, sa katawan ka na yan, hindi mo pwedeng sabihin, unya na. Dagan pa akong, pa nagbunga itong mga kamatis. Di ba? Sabihin sa'yo, time is up, kid. Okay? Time is up. Okay. Di ba? Nasa grocery ka ba? Naghahanap ka ng biglang 3 minutes to go. Lahat ng mga bumibili, kailangan umalis na. Yeah? Hindi pa ako nakabili. Okay? So, ganun mangyayari sa atin pag wala tayong clarity sa buhay natin. Kaya, the truth will set you free kasi yung ginagawa nyo lahat dito, walang rehearsal to kasi time moves. Hindi nyo pwede sabihin, i-rewind natin, balik ulit tayo sa pagkabata. Hindi pwede. Kita nyo yung situation? At a certain activity leads to a certain consciousness. And kung yung activity natin, based upon sensual enjoyment, then we will be developing and be covered by the demoniac disease. False bodily identification and trying to play Lord. Imitate God. Try to imitate God. And ang point ko rito, because we are not the supreme controller and we're trying to use and take something that does not belong to us. And even the body that we have does not belong to us. And kung yung hinahanap niyong happiness through senses, through this body, made of material nature, you are not the body. Kaya definitely, bokya ka, wala ka talagang dead end. Mas anong gawin mo? Okay? Para ka nagbabayo. Halimbawa, sa inyo, hindi ba mayroong palayan? May palayan ba sa inyo? Govinda Dasi? Wala. May palayan? Wala. Okay, ilagay na lang natin ganito. Kung halimbawa, may palayan, giniling na yung palay, kinuha na yung mga laman ng palay, yung mga grains. Okay? Wala nang laman. Zero. Nando, nakita nyo, babayuhin nyo, may makukuha pa ba kayong bigas? Wala. Di ba? So, yun ang point ko. Nagbabayo ka ng ipa lang, naghahanap ka ng bigas. The perplexed, ito, is a conscience. Thus perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusion, one becomes too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and falls down into hell. Self-complacent and always impudent, deluded by wealth and false prestige, they sometimes perform sacrifice in the name only without following the rules and regulation. Bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust, and anger, the demon becomes envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in his own body and the bodies of others, and blaspheme against real religion. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, are cast by me into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. So, we are responsible for our action. Hindi pwedeng gumawa ka ng isang bagay, ikaw pa rin yung babalikan eh. As you sow, you shall reap. Kung anong tinanim mo, yun ang anihin mo. Kaya kung anong activities natin, kung nilay down natin yung tracks natin, guided by the Spirit of Master, to go back home to the Supreme Person, to develop and uncover our true identity as eternally the gentle, loving child of Krsna, and in harmony, do the will of God, then definitely, yung tracks na nilay down natin sa buhay natin ngayon, we will reach the destination. Kasi those who apply this, the saintly person, those who are divine, have succeeded. But since you're all divine, ang question, do we really experience this divine nature and experience of what Lord Krishna is telling us? And what is that? We are liberated from material desires, from lust, okay, anger and greed. Ano ba yung nilulukdo natin? May lukdo na nga tayo. You are carrying something, your body, okay? You have this body already, okay? Now, what will you do with your body? What will you do with your mind? What will you do with your intelligence? So the proper way is to lay down the tracks guided by God Himself to uncover our true eternal nature as eternally the divine children, spirit soul, loving servant of God. No way that you try to choke or to move on without this transcendental rail or wisdom. You'll never succeed. You'll just be engulfed by material nature, and then you will be very lusty, you lose your intelligence, and then you suffer. And there's consequence. Ang sabi ni Lord Krishna is this: those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, are cast by me into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. Attaining repeated birth among the species of demoniac life, such person can never approach me. Gradually, they sink down to the abominable type of existence. There are three gates leading to hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give this up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. So, lahat ng mangyayari sa inyo, you don't blame anyone. Hello? You don't blame anyone. Kaya nga yung idea ng you go to God to be saved, you're asking God to do your will. Ano mangyayari pag hindi na nagawa yung will mo? What will your experience? Galit ka, di ba? And then you ask, tatanungin nyo, Lord, Lord, why me? Why me? Why not Chaitanya Das? And sabi say, why not you, asshole? You think you're saintly? You think you're pure? You ask yourself. Okay? Why not you? Lagi tayong, Lord, why me? Then darating tayo sa point na, if you're really loving and caring, why? Don't you want to do my will? I worship you, I pray, I go to church, kneel down, I give charity, as if you own anything, You don't own anything, man. So this demoniac consciousness of lordship must become purified with spiritual wisdom, because that separates us from experiencing this sweet experience of taking shelter in loving service to the Supreme Lord. Demoniac nature or influence is just simply, I want to do my will. Okay? Kaya nga, sabi ko sa inyo, when my Siksa Guru, I have a friend, he's a saintly person. And he said to the group in La Salle, "Do you want to see the devil? Yes, raise your hand. Okay? Look at the mirror. Tingnan nyo sa salamin kung sino yung devil. But because of this consciousness, I am the Lord of all I survey. In short, I am God. I am the dominator." So that separates us from our true transcendental nature. The divine nature wherein we're experiencing this happiness of gentleness, kindness, truthfulness. We are now carrying the load. Not carrying. We have been engulfed with trampled by lust. Because the living entity by nature, tayo lahat, we are active. We will be looking for happiness, searching for happiness, because happiness is inseparable from us. Now, if you're in this false bodily conception of life, then definitely your life is a failure no matter what you do. So kung nilay down mo yung tracks mo based upon just getting material things, you go to school, become a professional, and get the goodies that is being promised, then you end up with nothing. Because the ticket that you have, this human form of life, this body, to have the intelligence, the opportunity to make decision, to be connected with God through the guidance that is given to us by Parampara or the spiritual master, God Himself, through Scripture, the saintly person, you will not appreciate it. Because you will be blinded by lust, anger, and greed. You'll be engulfed. Not just you can see it, but you become burned. You'll be burning. You'll be burning. Pag nasa false bodily identification ka, you're carrying a very heavy load. You're shackled. That's why freedom begins with wisdom. Freedom from what? Freedom from this material consciousness, this demoniac consciousness that separates us to experience our true transcendental relationship and the happiness of serving God. We're not saying bad, 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 sinful, sinful. No. It is a science we must understand. If you lay down yung tracks nyo, going to hell, then what can we do? But if you follow the tracks that is given by Parampara, going back to Krishna, the purificatory process wherein He Himself will purify you, the Supreme Controller, the Supreme Master, the Lord of Love, who is self-sufficient, becomes your shelter. And you can only taste that when you become liberated and purified from this load you're carrying that has engulfed us, lust, anger, and greed, because it leads to hell. What is hell? Separation from God. Yun ang hell. Because you're not connected with the source of happiness. And it's a hellish experience. It's a sad experience. How do you experience that? You experience loneliness, emptiness, that even though you're surrounded by friends, you're still alone. Because by nature, you are not all-powerful. You're eternally dependent upon God. But this demoniac consciousness brings us to a state wherein we're carrying this load. We're blinded. We cannot see the living entity. And our goal is definitely a dead end. Dead end na ba? Alam mo yung dead end? Tumatakbo ka, hinahabol ka, parang ganito. Okay? Tumatakbo ka, kasi may naghahabol sa'yo, will do you harm. Takbo ka, takbo ka, takbo ka. Inisip mo, kailangan mag-survive, kailangan makakain, kailangan may trabaho, kailangan may pagkain, kailangan ko nito, kailangan. You're running. But dead end. When you leave this body, okay? When your body is weak already, gumagapang na. Okay? So your shelter now is misdirected. The tracks that you're going on, the train, yung sasakyan, you, the person, nasa wrong track ka. Dead end. Wala nga tracks kasi dami. When the person, ikaw, you're driven by lust, then thousands and thousands, innumerable desires are there. And then you'll be running after those desires. Isa ka lang. Unlimited yung hinahanap mo. Wala kang kakayahan. Why not connect yourself with the source of happiness? Unlimited happiness. Krishna, Govinda. Govinda Dasi connects her life with Krishna. Okay? Keshav Das. Okay? Chaitanya Das means servant of Krishna. So activities leads to a certain consciousness. So the activities you should be engaging us should be guided by what is eternal. It's connected with you, your life. Okay? Don't think na, saka na lang yan, pag bright na ako, pag professional ako. No. Wala kayong nobody has this contract. Wala kayong contract. May ticket kayo, itong katawan na to. But what you do with your body will determine your future. What you do with your mind. And then, if you're given this opportunity, this wisdom, and you don't take it, you don't appreciate it, then it will be a great loss to you. Kasi you will be forced to do and engage in activities driven by the mind and the desire. And then you're lost. So you must be very intelligent. You want to stop suffering, then stop having a body. You want to stop all this suffering, then stop these material activities. But engage in activities that is connected with pleasing God and establish all those what we should be having, the divine nature, inseparable from us. Kaya ngayon, may check and balance na kayo. Sabihin ng mind, mga what? Okay? Tsaka yung attitude nyo ba? Di ba? Kaliyuga is very powerful, Everybody wants to fight, combative. Magsalita ka lang. Isang salita lang. Okay? Halimbawa, ganito Usually, my friend ako kinikwento niya. It happens to everybody else. Kasama mo yung wife mo, nagda-drive kayo, nag-uusap lang kayo Nag-uusap lang kayo. Isang sentence lang sinabi mo, gera na yan. One sentence lang. May sinasabi siya, minsan sinabi ka, mamaya nagda-drive ka, nag-aaway na kayo. Yun na influence ng kaliyuga. Everybody likes to fight, quarrel. Okay? Tapos, ngayon, yung mind na tayo we are memory ba? Very short, makalimutin na tayo. Kaya pag gumawa ka ng krimen, sabi sa'yo, ba't mo ginawa yun? Nakalimutan ko kasi Hindi, kulong ka. Hindi ko alam. Hindi pwedeng ganun. Kaya very important na ma-appreciate natin yung situation natin ngayon. That you have this ticket, this human form. And then you have this truck. Ngayon, kayo, kung saan kayo tatakbo, that is completely up to you. Okay? Kung sino yayakapin nyo sa buhay nyo. Anong gagawin nyo? Okay? Yayakap ba ako ng bola? Okay? Ano ba yayakapin ko sa buhay ko? Kung ngayon na dumating tayo sa point na during the hippie time, 1970s, yung time na yun, hindi ka ganun, yung population ng America is not that 360, almost 500 million na sila ngayon. That was 10 years ago, 360 million. But during the time, yung population nila hindi ganun. Okay? It was a land of milk and honey. Okay? Yung mga anak nila, yung mga parents nila, and the government has so much. Yung mga anak, dumating sa point na they have so much, pero may sign nang hindi sila may problema. Ang lalaki ng bahay nila, ang yayaman ng parents nila, they leave home. They leave home. Iniwan nila lahat. And they become hippies. They just engage in shooting heroin, drugs. They walk in abandonment. Di na nagpapaputol ng buhok. Lakad lang, lakad, punta rito, grupo, dope, everything. Why? Yun yung fruits ng materialism. When you have it, it's gone. Tapos yung pinoproject sa atin na security, you know, you're just trying to, we should not become like the rabbit na pag the problem is there, the wolf is there, you just close your eyes. You know already the end. All of us here, sabihin nyo, may label kayo na professional, teacher tayo, engineer, lahat. You know the end. You're gonna leave everything behind. Okay? You know. Lahat ng ginagawa natin. And you know that you're struggling. We are struggling for, akala natin, survival. You will survive even without the body. Do you know that? The reason the body moves is because you're there. If, for example, Govinda Dasi, you leave the body will not move anymore, but you'll still exist. As it's shown, you were once in a young girl's body. Di ba? small body. Now you're in a lady's body. In the future, you'll be a body of your mom, tapos lola. But those bodies are moving and existing because you're there. And when you leave it, it's like a dress. But it goes unnoticed. Para bang, nakakita na kayo ng movie? Yung movie? Hindi naman yung nakikita nyo tuloy-tuloy eh. It was done in a way na putul-putul lahat yun. Putul-putul ba? Halimbawa, magtatumbling si probinsyano. Hindi naman habang sinushoot, tumbling siya, baril ng baril. Hindi ganun yun. Dahan-dahan yun. Tapos i-edit yun, putul-putul. Tapos dugtong. Pag kiningin nyo, akala nyo tuloy-tuloy. So ngayon, tuloy-tuloy yung existence nyo from different bodies na dinaanan nyo. Okay? Pero hindi nyo napapansin yun. Kaya may sign na nga, you're gonna leave everything behind. Pero bakit ayaw natin? Okay? Kasi we are not engaging in divine activities. And those activities connects us with the source of happiness. The prime benediction, the science of devotional service. And it comes easily with God Himself coming to us, descending as sound, Krsna, the Hare Nama, the holy names. But we're not interested because the mind is driven by desire. And what can hold the mind? What can direct the mind? God. So it's the science you're learning to become free, to follow these tracks. It's not a game we play here, not to talk to you every day, because there's no guarantee. Now when you live here, you'll not leave the body, okay? No guarantee. Anything can happen. Because you have karma, you have a certain number. All of you here, you have a certain number of breath. Hiningan nyo ba? You have destiny. And then, timbangin nyo. You have this human form now, you're in a human form, you're given this opportunity to have this ticket, this body, to use your intelligence, everything, to be directed in the world where you will not have another body again. Where you can play eternally with God. You can have a friend eternally. You can have a lover eternally. You can have a father eternally, not based upon this false bodily identification, not upon this temporary world. But the mind is not the mind will not exist in the spiritual world because the mind is still matter. Who will exist there? You. That's why it's like nakakita na kayo na ahas? Pag yung ahas, nakita nyo nag-shed ng skin. Diba? Ganon din yun. You're shedding all those bodies. Young girl's body, cute little body, sweet little 16 body, then middle-aged body, then old man's body. You know? It's like yung snake nagpapalit ng skin. Pero nag-i-exist pa rin yung snake. Okay? Sa body ng snake. Okay? So ngayon, saan tayo pupunta? In the face of all of this, you can see what makes it very hard for us. What makes it very hard? Okay? Alam mo na eh. So meaning, we're not progressing in our spiritual life to be directed in that goal. So it means we must cultivate the garden in our heart. The more we chant, it's like watering the root of the tree, watering the plant, and it will grow. And the more it grows, in the face of adversity, lahat ng trials dito, you can make a stand because it connects you with this protection that Krishna is protecting you. Krishna is always in control. But He's just a witness watching you. Okay? So you don't blame God for what's happening. It's not the faith you join. It's not my God, your God. It's not that. God is neutral. He just simply loves you. It's you who's touching the fire. Kaya nasusunog tayo. Now we're given this opportunity now. Oy, hindi pala forever ako maglalaro rito sa playground. Okay? Di ba pag naglaro kayo, alam mo yung chubibo? Alam mo yung chubibo? Ferris wheel ba? Hindi niya alam yun ha. Akala ko marunong kayo sa Tagal, hindi turo sa inyo, no? Okay, Ferris wheel, di ba? Ikot ng ikot. Pero may time, di ba? Babayad ka. Okay, magkano yung tsubibo sa Tampilisan? Piyesta ngayon, di ba? Meron kang, alam mo, si Govinda Das, Govinda Dasi, Chaitanya Dasi, nandun sila, okay? Oy, meron akong 10 piso. 3 minutes ang ikot ng 5 piso, kaya times 2, okay? May 6 minutes ako, okay? So, ganun din yun. Pasok ka yung body mo. Ikot ng ikot, ng ikot, ng ikot, ng ikot, ng ikot. Pero ang problem, sa material world, ikot ng ikot, ng ikot. Hindi ka makakalis. Ikot ng ikot, ng ikot, ng ikot. Naintindihan mo, Chaitanya Das? Okay? So, all you got to do is take shelter of the holy names. Remember the old Brahmana? That loving person, this poor, gentle, saintly person, nag-offer siya ng rice kay Krsna. Pobre makay siya. Gusto niya mag-offer nicely. But in his meditation, he offers to Krsna, gather all the water and he cooked sweet rice. In his meditation, his heart, his mind. Then, when he touched the sweet rice, nasunog yung daliri niya. And who's watching him? Krsna. And then Krsna sends his emissary to fetch him. Okay? So the spiritual master comes to this world, inviting us, fetching us, let's go home. Let's go home. Okay? Now, si mo, para bang sa, di ba, naglalaro kayo sa bahay nyo, sa hapon na, naglalaro kayo ng, yung, ano ba yung laro ng hide and seek, di ba? Tatago si Chaitanya Das. Tago siya. Tago. Hapon naman. Di ba? Tago ka ng tago. No? Sabi, tawag mama mo, Dong, manihapon na ta, uli. Di ba? Tago ka man ng tago hanggang nawala ka. Okay. So, malalaman nyo ngayon, pag pumasok kayo sa school, ang inaano nyo, makapasa kaya ako sa test para makapasok ako sa college. Ayun ang tanong nyo parate. Okay? Yung science na ito, hindi ganon. Bago pa lang mag-test, pasado ka na. Kung susundin mo yung process. Okay? You bypass death. And while living in this world, in this body, you experience this happiness of what is being discussed here, the divine consciousness. And then you can see that you fall far short. Ang dami mo palang dapat baguhin sa buhay mo. Kaya yung focus mo, it's about your relationship with God. Kaya ang daming, sakay ka sa train, diretso, may trucks, tapos pag hinto muna dito kasi bababa yung mga pasahero. Takbo na naman, hinto na naman. Pagdating sa kanto, mayroong road na gano'n, may trail na naman. May train din na dadaan. Pag hinto mo, pwede kang bumaba, sumakay sa train na yon. Okay? And Krsna is inviting you to go back home. He's telling you directly, all of us, just surrender to me and I'll protect you. Okay? To those who are constantly devoted unto me, I give them the understanding by which they can come to me. So Lord Jesus Christ is teaching the same teaching. Love our Father with thy whole heart, thy whole mind, thy whole being. Kaya nga we pray every day. When I was in high school, we used to pray that, but because it becomes a ritual. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Please forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. Blessed in the womb, thy Son, Lord Jesus Christ. Ritual. But after a while, through coming in contact with Srila Prabhupada, the Parampara, I begin to see how it's so deep, the prayer, the Father's prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So the holy name comes. So while you're in this body, you're with God. When you engage in the science of devotion service, you have Sankirtan. Remember, you chant every day. You may ask, You chant Krishna, Krishna, and then you begin to dance. Then you're making progress. You're finding happiness. In the chanting, your thirst becoming quenched. But if you sing, hindi nyo alam na yung kanta niya. Alam nyo yung kanta hindi nyo kilala si Mike Hanopol ba? Hindi nyo kantaan, no? Naririnig mo yung mga dyan. Okay, kantin nyo si Fred. Naririnig yung kanta niya. Okay? Tawanan mo lang ang problema mo. Araw-araw mo pakinggan yan. Tawanan mo lang problema mo. Araw-araw. Ikulong ka namin doon. Pakinggan mo yung araw-araw. Masaya ka kaya? Di ba? So yun ang difference between transcendental, divine nature, which is you are also divine. And then your happiness should be with the divine. Very simple. Simple logic. Correct reasoning ba? Wrong reasoning. Life with matter. Will he be happy? Okay? I'm experiencing loneliness. Can I say to the microphone, I love you. Huh? Di ba stupid? Okay? You must be with wisdom. Everything you should do, you must be conscious. Because the spirit soul, you are conscious. It's not the body who is conscious. You are aware of what is happening to your body. You are aware of your action, the resultant of your action. Okay? For example, you fall in love. Fall in love ba? Wow! Beautiful lady, I fall in love. You go to her, will you marry me? Can I marry you? Di ba? But before, will you marry me? You make effort. Di ba? You make effort. How can I marry her? Okay? Send roses, chocolate, talk to the mother, to the father, Kung sa probinsya pa, yung tatay mahilig sa manok, bigyan mo ng Texas. Di ba? Tatay lasinggero, inuman kayo. Di ba? Para lang mapalapit. Di ba? Then, what happened? You get her. Will you marry me? Okay? Kasal. Okay? Utang dito, utang dun. Okay? Pagkatapos ng kasal, away. Dagan utang. Ang Turko. Si ate nandyan na. Ate, kuya. Ang gihiram ni mo. Bayad. Di ba? So ngayon, ang consciousness, away. Di ba? Ikaw ang dahilan. Noong una, it's like, wow, how sweet it is. Without you, I cannot live. Di ba? Pero hindi na ganun. Ikaw ang dahilan. Kaya ako nagsasuffer. Siya rin, ikaw ang dahilan. Pag away, patay na. Bugno ay na ba? Away. Okay? Ang mahirap. It's not like that. Hindi lang away. Yung una talagang masaya kayo parate. You come home, nobody talks to you. Even your son and daughter, nandun lang, hindi ka kinakausap. Kumakain kayo, walang nakikipag-usap sa'yo. Silent death ba? Walang nakikipag-usap sa'yo. Cold shoulder lahat sa'yo. Lalo na yung dating pagkausap mo, kinakantahan ka ng yung how can I, kanta nila parate, how can I live without you? Di ba? Talagang kinakantahan ka habang ikaw naman nagdadrive, habang yakap. Ngayon, hindi na ganun. Alam mo yung cold shoulder, hindi ka kinakausap, parang hindi ka nag-exist. Kasi sa galit niya sa'yo, ikaw yung source ng happiness, ng unhappiness niya. Hindi ka niya kinakausap. Para ma-feel mo talaga sa puso mo kung paano mo ma-experience yung sakit, kumut-kumuto na imong kasing-kasing, imong huna-huna, kaya hindi ka na kinakausap ng someone na source ng happiness mo. Okay? It's happening. No? Hindi yung pagdating mo ng, asang kaldero dire, wait, pagkaon. Biglang mamaya, may tatapon na plato sa ulo mo. Hindi ganun. Pagdating mo sa bahay, ikaw na lang mag-isa. Yun ang reality ng mundo dito. So we must achieve this divine consciousness by the process that's given to us. It's Krishna's love for us, the spiritual master. Don't follow the mind. Yung mind, ang daming niyan. Desire. Okay? Marami ka pang hindi na Di ba nyo naisip? Kapon, nagpagupit kay lahat. Di ba? Pero dahil sa papanood nyo ng mga Koreano, yung buhok parang gano'n na kabayo, kulay green, kulay blue, di ba? Pagdating nyo rito, sabi ko, nga naman mga tawanan iba. Ba't di man kayong mga dagwayo eh? Pero akala nyo sikat kayo, di ba? Pero ngayon, nagpagupit kayo. Uy, di ba? Clean cut, di ba? Okay? Clean cut lahat, di ba? Si Kurt, pagdating mo, di ba? Yung buhok mo parang, imbis na pag ganun, yung pag ganun, di ba? Yung mga kontrabida sa sine, yung mga sangguko, di ba? Ano yung mga buhok nyo pagdating dito? Ngayon, buhok na ni Brad Pitt. Hindi si Brad Pitt. Si Pitt ba? Brad Pitt. Kilala niyo si Brad Pitt? Si P-E-T-E, si Brad Pitt. Ha? Local Brad Pitt ba? Hindi, binibiro ko lang kayo. Na you look good, okay? With your haircut. Kasi nabawasan yung bigat sa ulo nyo ba? Nabawasan. Yung mga girls, kung walang kuto, okay lang mahaba ang buhok. I-bundle lang, okay? Pero pag may kuto, kailangan magpakalbo ka. Kundi puro nuka yung ulo mo. Iba yung lulukduhin mo.
Nutrition, pupunta sa
Makabugo mangyut ka sa salamin ba? Tapos sabihin, oy, ano yung ad? Use this shampoo. Mayroong vitamin A, B, C. Mayroong carotene. May coconut. Imbis kainin mo yung carrot saka coconut, ilagay mo sa buhok mo. Para makintab. No? Okay? I don't know, man. But ang point ko rito, we have discussed the divine nature. The living entity, you're transcendental to this material world. Your life, you're happy if you're engaged in this world connected with the will of God. So that's the point. Okay? Let's continue tomorrow. So Haribol Namaste. I'll read to you this, last. Isa na lang, verse ni Krishna. Hindi, isa na lang. Ito na. Ito yung magiging consequence ba? Okay, sabi ni... Okay, tomorrow na lang yan. Sabi ni God, tama na. Chant na tayo. Sorry, Bol, namaste. Okay, move the
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namo, Ora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Krsna.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namine, Ora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Krsna.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Mayanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Mayanya.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana,
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Mayanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Mayanya.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana,
Bhakti Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vatsala Gauranga Vrinda.
Radha Shri Krishna Chaitanya,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribo Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Gopala
Haribol, everybody sing now. Haribol, Chaitanya Das.
Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribo Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Haribo Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribo Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Haribo Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribo Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribo Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Haribo Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribo Krishna,
Madana Mohana. Haribol,
Gopala Govinda
Haribol, Krishna, Haribol, Haribol. Everybody sing now. Haribol, Haribol.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Haribo Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribo Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda
Haribol,
Madana Mohana,
Haribol, Haribol.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribo Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Haribo Krishna,
Gopala Govinda
Haribo
Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol, Haribol, Haribol.
Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Haribo Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribo Krishna,
Madana Mohana. Everybody chant, voice chant.
Gopala Govinda
Haribol, Haribol.
Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Haribo Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribo Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribo Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Haribo Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribo Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga,
Haribo Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Haribo Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gauranga.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Guranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Guranga,
Jaya Jaya Srila
Haribo
Prabhupada,
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Haribo Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Srila
Haribo
Prabhupada,
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda,
Krishna,
Ananda Paramahamsa.
Haribo Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa. Jai Gurudev, Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namanehi Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prestaya
Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prestaya